Hey everyone, don't forget to push that like button on the video because it does help out the channel quite a bit. And if you are new here to Geekdom 101, hit that subscribe button and enable all notifications so that you get all my content delivered to you right when it comes out. I thank you for 6 years of support and hopefully many more to come. So in the wake of chapter 68 of the manga, in the V-Jump magazine that had chapter 68 of Dragon Ball Super's manga, there was a Toyotaro interview, a small one, where he went into a little bit more detail about the Granolah arc and was teasing some big things to come in the future. So I wanted to go through that interview and give you all the tidbits of what was discussed in that interview. V-Jump magazine is on store shelves right now, but it is a Japanese magazine. If you're looking to order that magazine, you'll have to go to CD Japan or Amazon Japan and go through that process. It is doable, of course, but most of you guys are probably reading the manga on Manga Plus or on the Viz app, so what's the point? Unless you really want to. But I have the translations here, courtesy of Herms. I'm going to go ahead and go through these translations and give y'all my insight and a bit more information on what's going on here. So the first, it's only 3 questions, but they're interesting questions with very interesting answers. So the first question is, which character should we pay attention to in the Granolah the Survivor arc? Toyotaro says, obviously I want you to pay attention to Granolah himself, but also the group of siblings known as the Hita, or Heater. That's the Hita group. That's, you know, the 4 people who have come out. So now we know, you know, that they are siblings, and we know, even though I kind of thought that, I don't remember if they said in the manga or not, I don't remember, but he confirms it here. Plus, there's a connection to somebody really surprising that will be revealed, so pay close attention to them too. Now, that connection that he's talking about, it's not clear if he's referring to a connection between the Hitas and another character, or if he's talking about Granolah. And I think some fans are going to assume they're talking about Bardock here because of the dream that Granolah had of Bardock, you know, destroying his world, essentially. But it seems to me, though, that they're talking about the Hita, so there's going to be a stronger connection between them, and I do see them being characters that are going to have a role in this arc. I said it in my review. I said these characters are probably going to have a role here. We just don't know exactly what that is, including the possibility of them actually being the real villains here. Some have said that this arc is predictable in the sense that because Granolah is not really an inherently bad guy, that maybe he's going to start off as a villain, and that over time he will, you know, kind of regret his actions. Maybe he's going to give one of the Hitas like a lot of power through 7-3 or whatever, and then maybe regret it, and then eventually join up with Goku to help out. That could be what happens. I mean, people have said that. I'm saying it now, so if it's right, you know, whoever was saying that, I mean, I said it too, is a great prognosticator, but I have a feeling that's not what's going to happen. I think there'll be something else going on here. But I wonder who that character is. I wonder. He said really surprising, so it better be somebody that's unexpected, like, you know, not like Frieza. Somebody really unexpected. No idea who it could be. Moving on, next question. What sort of image did you have in mind when designing the new character Granolah? And he says, he's the last survivor of the Cerealites, so I pictured him as a lone bounty hunter. This is what I was talking about in my review and in my other videos about how I said this is very Star Wars-esque, how, you know, him and the Heaters are kind of like these bounty hunters, these kind of slime balls, and I like that. I like him having that bounty hunter kind of feel to him, you know, being a good sniper, you know, when he shoots with the 2 fingers. I like that stuff. Says here, while he's humanoid, I emphasize that he does have some physical differences separating him from an Earthling. His clothes are the traditional dress of his race, but I also tried to give him a retro vibe. So, it seems like this confirms that Toyotaro designed Granolah, although Granolah resembles what I would consider a modern Toriyama design, right? He looks like a newer, he looks more like a Dragon Quest character, if I'm being real with you. But it seems like this interview confirms that it's a Toyotaro design, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But again, it just goes to show that if Toyotaro really is designing these characters, that he's getting more and more power. You know, he's getting more and more accessibility. And don't forget, he designed a bunch of the Gods of Destruction for the Tournament of Power, so the other universe ones. So again, he's getting more into the he's gonna eventually at some point be Toriyama's replacement. Maybe when Toriyama passes away, I don't know, but it seems like he's being groomed for that spot. Last question. No, I'm sorry. There's two more questions. There's two more questions. When drawing Granolah, were there any points that you paid special attention to or were especially careful of? He said, with that goggle over one eye, it's hard to get the balance right when positioning his eyes, so I'll start out by drawing them both before adding the goggle. There's some advice for you artists out there. And when he's facing certain directions, his eye is invisible, which means you can't tell his expression, so I have to take care to manage the angles just right to show his emotions. That's probably something that all artists have to deal with, you know, during their career. And last question here. Tell us the highlights of the Granolah the Survivor arc. Obviously, there won't be any big story spoilers here, but he says, Toriyama Sensei composed the plot based on a scenario he refined over time. So, looks like this is something that Toriyama didn't just write off the hop. Like, I guess he actually put thought into this, which is good. And I think it resulted in a truly fantastic story. Which, by the way, the fact that Toriyama has been confirmed to be the main guy behind this story, as opposed to the Mora arc where Toyotaro had more control, it just confirms that this is going to get adapted. I mean, it just further confirms that at some point we'll see an anime version of this. There are some facts and background information that only the original creator knows, so I think you'll be thrilled. That's interesting because it's implied based on what he wrote that Toyotaro doesn't even know, or maybe he meant that. Maybe he means that he hasn't been told all the information yet. Because I feel like what used to happen with the other arcs, the Goku Black arc, Tournament of Power, Toriyama would design like a draft. I called it a manuscript. And he sent it to both Toyotaro and Toei. Then they took that and adapted it into the Dragon Ball anime, Super anime, or the manga. And they would obviously move things around, change things, add things like Vegito Blue and Kale. Here, it's more so it seems like he's giving Toyotaro bits and pieces. That could be what's going on. I can't confirm that because I don't think that's really what's going on. I think Toyotaro's just trying to be a salesman here. Hold on. I zoomed in a bit too much there. But it's easier to see. Of course, my head is blocking some of it. My bad on that. But I think what he might be saying is that it's to stay tuned because there'll be surprises. That's what I think is implied anyways, that there's surprises that are going to be coming. And he says here, and obviously another highlight will be the sort of exhilarating battles you expect from Dragon Ball. Well, he's going to be the one in charge of that because he's the artist, so he'll be drawing those battles. And he has improved as an artist when it comes to drawing battles. He's not on Toriyama's level yet. I'm sorry. Go back and read the original manga. Toriyama was light years ahead of Toyotaro in his prime. Does that mean Toyotaro will never get there? No, I think eventually he might get there. But Toriyama was a very special artist when it comes to battles and how to structure them, which is why the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z fights are so much better than the ones in Super, because they're structured in a certain way, you know. Super had some great highlights, like Goku versus Jiren, some of the Goku Black fights. There's a few, but Dragon Ball Original and Z was a different level as far as how the fights were kind of put together. So hopefully Toriyama will pass that knowledge on. But basically, it seems like there's a lot of background here. There's a lot of backstory. But beyond just the Cerealians and their connection to Frieza and the Saiyans, which I know is going to be a major plot point, we will see Frieza without question in this arc at some point. I am very interested in backstory because I love lore. As a fan of Dragon Ball, I truly love lore, and the fact that they're putting in more lore here is a good thing. So, overall, I have to say that it's very much a promotional tool here, what they're doing to kind of get this arc over. Toriyama composing this plot, whether how thin or thick it is, we'll find out. But, or we may never know, but we'll see how good it is, at least in the next few months. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, he said it's a fantastic story, but they have to say that. He's not going to sit there and say, oh, well, it's not that good. He has to say that. So we'll see. I mean, could it be Toriyama's best work of the modern era? Maybe. We'll find out. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And remember to take care of yourself, y'all, and each other.